The Snaptite Assembly system locks end channels to wall sheets without the need for tools or fasteners. To assemble each panel, the perimeter channels are secured to the top and bottom of each sheet. Gently tap the channel over the Snaptite lugs and work your way along the sheet. Each channel should be fit to the center of each sheet. Simply tap the channel along until it's aligned. We're going to join our spliced channels now. Basically, we're just joining a pair of channels together to make a longer one. There are three parts: a left channel, a right channel, and the joiner. Looking at the part numbers, you'll see that the left channel has the letter L and the right channel has the letter R at the end of the part number. There are also printed arrows pointing to the end of the channel that needs to be joined. The joiner, called a CSJ, needs to be put in the right way to match the channel. Make sure that you've got the long sides matched up. Place the CSJ centered on the end and press in as shown until you hear it click. Repeat this with the other side and then make sure that both halves are butted up against one another. Do this for the rest of the spliced channels in the pack before beginning construction. This shed has channels that need to be trimmed. We show which end to trim for each panel as we go, so feel free to do this as required. Take the required channel and measure 16.5 mm from the end specified. You can use tin snips to trim back the channel to the marked length. Let's assemble our ridge beam. To construct the ridge beam for this shed, you'll need one ridge cap joiner, 3 ZASP joiners, 4 97ALR ridge beams. Flip the ridge beam pieces over and make sure you have the ends orientated as pictured. Slide the capping of one under the other and push together until the hat sections are flush. Place the ZASPs into the underside of the ridge beam. Make sure it's in the center of the ridge beam. Once the joiner is in, turn the beam back over. Get a tape and measure out 250 mm from the center, marking every 50 mm on the center of the ridge beam. Do this for both sides. Now we have our holes marked. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the end mark and secure the ridge beam and joiner with a Tek screw. Now that the joiner is held in, drill out the remaining holes and secure with 6 more of the wafer head Tek screws. Repeat these steps for the other spliced ridge beam before proceeding. Now we have both halves of the ridge beam spliced. We need to join them together to make the full span. We need to trim away a piece of each of these ridge beams to join them. Clamp one of the spliced ridge beams so we can work on it safely. Use an angle grinder or hacksaw to trim one end of the ridge beam so it's flush with the capping. Repeat this with the other ridge beam. Take the freshly cut ridge beams and butt both cut ends together. Push the ZASP joiner into the underside of the ridge beams, making sure that it's centered between them. You can use a string line to make sure that the ridge beam is straight before you fix it off. Carefully turn the ridge beam over. Remove the plastic covering from both pieces, and the capping. Place the ridge cap joiner over this join. Centered over this join, make 8 markings 60mm apart over the ZASP and ridge cap. Take the 3mm drill bit and drill out these marked holes, then secure the 2 beams in the ZASP and the ridge cap joiner with 8 of the wafer head tech screws. That completes the ridge beam. Let's do the rear left panel. To make this rear panel, we'll need one 55B channel, one 81B channel, 3 of the 31A sheets, and one 30A sheet. Lay out the sheets so that the 3 31A sheets are on the right and the 30A is on the left. Make sure that all of the pre-punched holes line up. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib and then secure the sheets together using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Attach the 55B channel to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside. Make sure you've trimmed the ends shown by 16.5mm. Take the 81B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using a 3mm drill bit, drill out the 2 holes in the underside of the CSJ. Fasten together the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this again for the other end of the panel. That completes our rear left panel. Let's do the rear right panel. To make this rear panel, we'll need one 55B channel, one 81B channel, 3 of the 31A sheets, and one 30A sheet. Lay out the sheets so that the 3 31A sheets are on the left and the 30A sheet is on the right. Make sure all the pre-punched holes line up. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib and then secure the sheets together using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Attach the 55B channel to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside. Make sure you've trimmed the ends shown by 16.5mm. Take the 81B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using a 3mm drill bit, drill out the 2 holes in the underside of the CSJ. Fasten together the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this again for the other end of the panel. That completes the rear right panel. Let's make the left roof panel. You're going to have to do this section twice because we need 2 of these panels. To assemble the left roof panel, we'll need one 87A lip, one 60A channel, one 81A channel, and 4 of the 45A sheets. Lay out the 45As so that the sheet-to-sheet holes line up and the row of holes along the edge are all on the same side. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib, then secure with 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 60A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside of the panel. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Now take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using the 3mm drill bit, drill out the two holes in the underside of the CSJ and bottom channel. Fasten the CSJ and channel using two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 87A lip and place it on the left side of the panel, sliding it between the sheets and the channel. Fasten it with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now we've got one done, repeat this step to make the second left roof panel. Once you've done this a second time, that will complete your 2 left roof panels. Let's make the right roof panel. To assemble the right roof panel, we'll need one 87A lip, one 60A channel, one 81A channel, and 4 of the 45A sheet. Lay out the 45As so that the sheet-to-sheet holes line up and the row of holes along the edge are all on the same side. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib, then secure with 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 60A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside of the panel. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Now take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using the 3mm drill bit, drill out the two holes in the underside of the CSJ and bottom channel. Fasten the CSJ and channel using two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 87A lip and place it on the right side of the panel, sliding it between the sheets and the channel. Fasten it with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat these steps to make the second right roof panel. Once you've done this twice, you would have completed your 2 right roof panels. Let's do the side panel assembly. We'll need one 81A channel, one 84R channel, one 84L channel, one 15A peak brace, one 36L sheet, one 38L sheet, one 38R sheet, and one 36R sheet. Lay out the sheets in the following order from left to right: 36L, 38L, 38R, and then the 36R sheet. Make sure that the bottom of the sheets are sitting flush and overlapped by one rib. Once orientated, secure the sheets together using 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets using the Snaptite method. Fasten 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws into the underside of the channel and into the CSJ. To get good access with the tin snips, remove the topmost screw between the sheets, trim the way as shown, and then put the screw back in. Take the 84R channel and attach it to the right sheets using the Snaptite method. Take the 84L channel and attach it to the top of the left sheets using the Snaptite method. Next, we'll attach the 15A peak brace to the apex of the panel. Align it with the holes in the top of the 2 channels. Fasten using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. This completes our side panel. You'll need to repeat these steps for the other side panel, which is exactly the same. Let's construct the left door panel. To make the left door panel, we'll need one 12A door plate, 2 pad bolts, 2 58C channels, one 58A channel, 2 91A jams, one 89C jam, and the door A sheet. To start, note the orientation of the sheet. The pre-punched holes for the door plate are on the right. Take the 89C jam and place it over the edge of the sheet which has the holes for the door plate. Use 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure this jam to the sheet. Take the 58A channel and place it on the other side of the sheet. Make sure that the hinges can extend upwards towards the outside of the door. Use 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to fasten the channel to the sheet. Take the 58C channel and snap tight it onto the top of the sheet. This channel will go over the front of the existing channel and over the jamb. Secure this jamb with a 10mm self-tapping screw in each corner. Repeat this process for the other 58C channel, attaching it to the bottom of the sheet. Fasten with a 10mm self-tapping screw in each of the corners. Next, we'll attach the 12A door plate by placing it over the pre-punched holes midway up the door on the side of the sheet. Fix this door plate using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now, flip the sheet over. Take one of the 91A jambs and place it over the diagonal row of pre-punched holes, sliding one face into the corner of the panel. Fasten one 10mm self-tapping screw through the sheet and into the jamb. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw to fasten the other end of the jamb to the sheet. Now do the same for the other 91A jamb, sliding it into the corner and lining it with the pre-punched holes. Secure the jamb and the corner channels using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw in the other end of the jamb. We'll attach the pad bolts. For this, we'll need to use the supplied 4mm nuts and bolts. Place the pad bolt over the 4 pre-punched holes in the top of the sheet. From the underside of the sheet, push through the bolts and then finger tighten the nylock nuts. Now use pliers or a shifter to hold the nut and then use the drill to tighten up the bolts. Repeat this process for the other pad bolt at the bottom of the sheet, placing it over the holes and then using the 4 nuts and bolts. Flip the door back over and finish securing the jambs using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws along the diagonal holes. This completes our left door panel. Let's construct the right door panel. To make the right door panel, we'll need one 12A door plate, one pad bolt, one 58A channel, one 58B channel, two 58C channels, two 91A jambs, and the door B sheet. To start, note the orientation of the sheet. We have our holes for the door plate on the left. Take the 58B channel and place it over the edge of the sheet which has the holes for the door plate. Use 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure this channel to the sheet. Take the 58A channel and place it on the other side of the sheet, making sure that the hinges can extend upwards towards the outside of the door. Use 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to fasten this channel to the panel. Take the 58C channel and use the Snaptite method to attach it to the top of the sheet. This channel will go over the top of the sheet and over the front edges of the 58A and 58B channels. Use a 10mm self-tapping screw in each of the corners. Repeat this process with the other 58C channel, but on the bottom of the sheet. Again, using a 10mm self-tapping screw in each of the corners. Next, we'll attach the door plate and pad bolt. Position the door plate on the pre-punched holes midway up the sheet. Fasten it using a 10mm self-tapping screw. Next, take the pad bolt and position as shown. Fix using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws and finish off with a final 10mm self-tapping screw. Flip the door panel over. Take one of the 91A jambs and place it over the diagonal row of pre-punched holes, sliding one face into the corner of the panel. Fasten one 10mm self-tapping screw through the sheet and into the jamb. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw to fasten the other end of the jamb to the sheet. Now do the same for the other 91A jamb, sliding it into the corner and lining it with the pre-punched holes. Secure the end of the jamb and 2 bottom corner channels using 3 10mm self-tapping screws. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw in the other end of the jamb. Flip the door back over and finish securing the braces with 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. We need 2 of this type of door, so please repeat these steps again. Let's construct the front right panel. To assemble the front panel, we'll need one 55A channel, one 55C channel, one 79A channel, 2 89A jambs, one 90A jamb, one 35A sheet, and one 34A sheet. Place the 35A sheet on the left and the 34A sheet on the right. Take an 89A jamb and place it over the inside edge of one of the sheets. Make sure that the holes align. Repeat this for the other 89A jamb. Secure the 2 jambs using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 55A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets, making sure that the holes align with the 2 jambs. Make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Ensure the hole in the end of the jamb aligns with the outer hole in the channel. Repeat the process for the other sheet, ensuring that the hole in the end of the jamb aligns with the outer hole in the channel. Take the 90A jamb and place it into the channel. The notches in the end of the jamb will need to slide over the jambs of the door frame. Once the jamb is placed correctly, secure the channel at the end using 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat this process for the other end of the 90A jamb, securing the channel with 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now use 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to further secure the jamb to the channel, and then that channel to the CSJ. Use 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws in the underside of the channel and the CSJ. Take the 55C channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets, ensuring that the holes align with the 2 jambs. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Next, we'll take the 79A channel and place it so its long side is inside the bottom channel, as shown. Use 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure this channel. Move to the other side and use 3 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the channel. Now use 5 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws along the channel. Finally, put 2 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws in the underside of the channel and the CSJ. That completes the front right panel. Let's attach the doors. Lay out the front panel so you have access to the door hinge holes. Place the right door panel over the front panel so the hinge is aligned with these holes. Use the 3mm drill bit to clear out the hinge holes at the top. Fasten the door using 3 of the pop rivets. Repeat this process for the bottom hinge, clearing out the holes, then fastening with 3 more pop rivets. Place the left door panel over the front panel so the hinge is aligned with the holes. Use the 3mm drill bit to clear out the hinge holes at the top. Fasten the door using 3 of the pop rivets. Repeat this process for the bottom hinge, clearing out the holes, then fastening with 3 more pop rivets. Our doors are now attached. Let's construct the front left panel. To assemble the front panel, we'll need one 56A channel, one 56B channel, one 79B channel, one 89A jam, one 89B jam, one 90B jam, two 33A sheets, and one 30A sheet. Lay out the sheets so that the 30A sheet and one 33A sheet is on the left and the other 33A sheet is on the right. Leave a space for the door. Overlap the 30A and 33A sheets by 1 rib, checking that they're flush top and bottom, and then securing with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 89B jam and place it over the side of the left 33A sheet. Secure the jam to the sheet using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this with the 89A jam, placing it over the left edge of the other 33A sheet. Secure the jam to the sheet using 2 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 56A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. Make sure that the short side of the channel faces the outside of the panel. Make sure you have trimmed the end of the channel shown by 16.5mm before attaching. Line up the outer hole in the 56A channel with the hole in the end of the 89A jam. Repeat this for the other end of the 56A channel, attaching it to the top of the other sheets and aligning the outer hole in the 89B jamb. Take the 56B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets, ensuring that the holes align with the two jambs. Again, making sure that you've already trimmed the end shown by 16.5 mm. Secure the jambs and channels using 4 of the 10 mm self-tapping screws. Take the 90B jamb and slide it into the channel at the top of the doorway. The notches on the jamb will slide over the two jambs in the doorway. Take the 79B channel and slide it into the bottom of the doorway. Secure it using 3 of the 10 mm self-tapping screws. Now the front panel is complete, take the door panel with the door B sheet and lay it over the right side of the panel in the open position. You'll need to take a 3 mm drill bit and drill out these holes in the jamb. This stops the sheet from blocking the rivet. Line up the holes in the hinges with the holes in the jamb and secure with 6 pop rivets. That completes the front left panel assembly. We'll start with the left and right roof panels. Make sure you have the correct sheets and that they're orientated so the row of holes are along the edge at the top. Push the two panels together, overlapping them by 1 rib. Slide the overlapping sheet inside the channel of the other panel. Fasten these two panels together using 3 of the 10 mm self-tapping screws. Remove the bottom row of screws in the roof panel. This will make it easier for you to slot this into the ridge beam. You'll have to do this again a second time to make the second 6 meter roof panel. Attach the ridge beam to one of the roof panels by sliding the edge of the panel without screws into the ridge beam. Fasten along the underside of the ridge beam and the panel with 9 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. We'll only connect one of the roof panels into the ridge beam now. We'll put the second one on later. Moving on to the front panels now. Make sure you have the correct panels and orientate them as shown. Your double door panel will have the doors attached by now. Place the two panels side by side, making sure that they're up the right way. The channels at the top of these two panels will have holes in the top to fit the roof later. Overlap the two panels by one rib, pushing the two channels so they sit flush together. Fasten these two panels using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Moving on to the rear panels now. Make sure they're placed the correct way up. The channels at the top will have holes for the roof. Get the left and right panels and push them together, overlapping them by one rib. Secure the two panels together using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. That will complete all of your 6 meter panels. Let's construct the portal frames. We need 2 portal frames, so make sure you go through this section twice. Before getting stuck in, we recommend marking out an outline of the frame on your slab using the following info. To make the portal frame, we'll need 2 of the C1482 and 2 of the C1704 frame sections, 2 knee plates, 2 apex plates, 2 ridge beam plates, and 2 of the multi-purpose brackets. Lay out the portal frame components using the markings and dimensions shown previously as a guide. Take one of the apex plates and place it over the 2 C1482 frame sections. Once in place, secure with 12 wafer head tech screws. Moving to one side, place the knee plate over the C1482 and C1704 frame sections. Secure the knee plate using 7 wafer head tech screws. Use 5 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top of the knee plate. Use 2 wafer head tech screws to secure the upright for the moment. Use 6 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top edge of the apex plate. Align the other frame pieces and place the remaining knee plate over them. Secure the knee plate to the C1482 using 7 wafer head tech screws. Use 5 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top edge of the knee plate. Secure the upright with 2 wafer head tech screws for now. If your shed's being installed onto a rebated slab, measure the height of the rebate. Trim all the legs by this amount. Orientate the multi-purpose bracket as shown and secure to the bottom of the leg with 6 wafer head tech screws. Repeat this step for the other leg and bracket, securing with 6 more wafer head tech screws. Place the ridge plate over the apex plate, making sure that the top faces are flush, and secure with 8 wafer head tech screws. Turn the portal frame over. Place the apex plate over the frame and secure the top with 6 of the wafer head tech screws. Secure through the bottom of both apex plates with 3 of the wafer head tech screws. Again, align the ridge and apex plates, making sure that the top surfaces are flush, and fix using 8 of the wafer head tech screws. That completes one portal frame. We'll need to do this one more time to get 2 portal frames. Let's begin the final assembly. This is the recommended slab size for this shed. These are the portal frame locations relative to the slab. When positioning the portal frames on these center lines, make sure that you reference the middle of the framing as shown. We've marked out the positions of our portal frames and we have them laid ready to go. First, we need to screw in the remaining wafer head tech screws into the knee plates after we've checked the fit and squareness on the slab. Repeat for the rest of the knee plates. Get a friend to help you hold up the frame. Now the frame's in the right position, you'll need to anchor it. Using a hammer drill and a 10mm masonry bit, drill out the inner hole in the multi-purpose bracket. Make sure the depth of the hole is suitable for an M10 dynabolt. Place the M10 dynabolt through the hole in the bracket and into the slab. Use a spanner or a socket to tighten the dynabolt. Repeat this for the 3 remaining brackets, drilling into the slab and securing with 3 of the M10 dynabolts. Get the rear panel and center it over the portal frames. Where the 2 panels have been joined together, it should line between these frames. Using a tape measure and a marker, make 7 equal spaced markings down the panel where the first portal frame is. Using the markings as a guide, secure the rear panel to the first portal frame using 7 of the 45mm tech screws. Do this again for the other portal frame, marking out the holes, then securing it to the rear panel, using 7 of the 45mm tech screws. Next is the left side panel. Align the holes down the end of the panel with the pre-punched holes in the rear panel, then fasten using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat this process for the right side panel, aligning the pre-punched holes. Secure the panels together with 4 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Bring in the front panel and center it over the two portal frames like we did for the rear panel. As we did with the rear, secure the front panel to the portal frame using 7 of the 45mm Tech screws spaced equally down the panel. Do this again for the other portal frame, securing the panel with 7 of the 45mm Tech screws spaced equally down the panel. Overlap the holes in the left panel with the holes in the front panel and then fasten with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Align the front and right panels, then secure with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the roof panel with the ridge beam attached to it and place it over the shed. Make sure that the roof lips overhang the sidewalls. Use a 10mm self-tapping screw at either end of the ridge beam into the peak brace of both sidewalls. Take the other roof panel and slide it over the back of the shed, again making sure that the lips overhang the sidewalls. Line up the roof panel with the ridge beam. Make sure there is no gap between these channels before sliding the panel into the ridge beam. This will mean that the holes will align when it's in there. You may need to undo the screws that hold the ridge beam to the sidewall to give you the ability to wiggle it into place. If you do this, please add external screws through the roof panel lips and into the sidewalls so the roof panel cannot accidentally fall off due to wind. This can be tricky over 6 meters, so be sure to work your way across from one end and secure with the 10mm self-tapping screw as these holes do become aligned. When this panel is in, there will be 9 10mm self-tapping screws holding it in place. Now both roof panels are inserted into the ridge beam. Add in the sheet-to-sheet screws we took out earlier. These will be 14 of the 10mm self-tapping screws and they're located beneath the ridge capping. Drill out the hole in the peak brace and ridge beam and fasten with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this for the other end of the ridge beam, fastening with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Now we will fasten the corners of our roof panel to the walls using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Fasten the roof to the rear wall by using 14 of the 10mm self-tapping screws through the back row of holes. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out any holes that require it. Do this again for the front roof panel, securing the panel to the front wall using 14 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now secure the ridge plates of the portal frames to the ridge beam using wafer head Tek screws. Make 8 equally spaced markings on the roof along the top of the portal frame. Fasten the roof to the portal frame using 8 of the 45mm Tek screws. Repeat this for the remaining 3 portal frame chords, securing the roof with a total of 24 45mm Tek screws. Secure all 4 lips to the side walls of the shed using a total of 20 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the gable cap and fold as shown. Hook the gable cap under the 2 roof panel lips and then place it over the ridge beam. Drill out the holes in the cap and fasten using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Use 2 10mm self-tapping screws to finish securing the lips to the side panel. Attach the cap to the other side. Drill out the holes, then secure both the cap and lips with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Place the hasp over the inside pad bolt shaft and drill out 1 hole. If your shed is on a rebated slab, skip these steps and drill out a hole into the concrete slab. Secure the hasp with 1 10mm self-tapping screw, then repeat for the remaining hole, securing it with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this process for the external pad bolts on both doors, placing the hasp over the pad bolt shaft. Drill out both holes and secure the hasp with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take your angle brackets and lay them out in the positions as shown, spacing them equally along each wall. Using these brackets as a template, go around and carefully mark where the holes are on the slab and on the wall. Drill 3mm pilot holes in the wall centered on these marks. Now switch out to the 10mm drill bit and drill through these pilot holes. Next, take your hammer drill and insert the 10mm masonry drill bit. Drill down through the marks we made earlier. Be sure to go down deep enough for the height of the dynabolt. From the outside of the shed, take the 10mm bolt and poke it inside. You may need a friend to hold it there. Align the angle bracket with the bolt and then tighten the nut by hand. Tighten it further using the shifting spanner. Put the dynabolt through the bracket and into the hole in the slab. Tighten this nut on the dynabolt with the shifting spanner. Now that this has been done at all positions, the structure is anchored. Now the shed is complete, any leftover holes can be finished off with a screw.